Jeff Bezos didn't just build Amazon. He architected one of the most powerful business machines the world has ever seen. From shipping books out of a Seattle garage to commanding a trillion-dollar empire, Bezos' journey wasn't fueled only by vision. It was shaped by daily principles, routines, and mental frameworks that kept him sharp while steering one of the fastest-growing companies in history. Today, we're unlocking the vault on Bezos' personal operating system, the daily practices that allowed him to scale from nothing to everything. You'll discover his obsession with customers, the two-pizza rule that kept his meetings lean and effective, his approach to high-velocity decision-making, and why he reserves his mornings for his most important work. And most importantly, you'll see how you can apply these principles to your own life and business, no matter what empire you're building. Let's start with the foundation: customer obsession. For Bezos, everything begins and ends with the customer. From the earliest days of Amazon, he drilled this into the company's DNA. While other businesses fixated on competitors, Bezos was laser-focused on customers. He once explained it like this: we're not competitor-obsessed, we're customer-obsessed. We start with what the customer needs and we work backwards. So what does customer obsession look like in Bezos' daily practice? It means constantly asking questions like, what does the customer want? How can we reduce friction for them? How do we make this experience so seamless they never look elsewhere? Even at the height of running Amazon, Bezos kept time in his schedule to dive deep into customer feedback. He would read complaint emails himself, sometimes forwarding them to senior managers with a simple question mark, an ominous signal that they needed to fix the problem immediately. This wasn't micromanagement, it was cultural leadership. By making sure he personally kept his finger on the pulse of the customer, he ensured that no matter how big Amazon became, it never lost touch with the people who mattered most. And here's where you can take a page out of his book. Whatever you're building, whether it's a business, a career, or even a personal project, shift your focus outward. Don't obsess over beating the competition. Obsess over creating value for the people you serve. That mindset compounds over time, just like it did for Bezos. Now, let's talk about the famous two-pizza rule. Bezos had a simple philosophy when it came to meetings. If a team couldn't be fed with two pizzas, the group was too big. At first glance, it might sound like a quirky joke, but it's actually one of the sharpest productivity principles in corporate history. Big teams lead to bureaucracy. Bureaucracy leads to slow decisions, diluted ideas, and endless debates. Bezos knew that if Amazon was going to scale without suffocating under its own weight, it needed small, autonomous groups that could move quickly. So instead of endless boardroom gatherings with 20 people, Amazon teams were often made up of just a handful of decision makers, small enough that two pizzas could feed them, but powerful enough to execute. These teams had the freedom to innovate, experiment, and take ownership of their results. Imagine applying this to your own life. Think about the meetings you sit in every week, whether at work, school, or even in community groups. How much time is wasted in oversized rooms where voices get drowned out and no real progress is made? By following Bezos' two-pizza rule, you cut the noise, keep the group lean, and accelerate execution. The next secret principle is high-velocity decision-making. One of Bezos' most famous letters to shareholders talked about the importance of speed. He explained that most decisions are not irreversible, one-way doors. Instead, they're two-way doors. You can walk through, test an idea, and if it doesn't work, you can walk back. In Bezos' words, if you're good at course correcting, being wrong may be less costly than you think, whereas being slow is going to be expensive for sure. In practice, this meant Bezos pushed his teams to make decisions with around 70% of the information they wished they had. Waiting for 90% or 100% might feel safer, but it costs too much time. By the time you've gathered all the data, the opportunity has already passed. This principle kept Amazon nimble. Instead of drowning in analysis paralysis, Bezos and his teams acted, tested, and corrected courses along the way. It's the reason Amazon could launch bold ideas like Prime, Kindle, and AWS, often before competitors even realized what was happening. For you, the lesson is powerful. Stop waiting until everything is perfect. Whether it's starting a side hustle, applying for a new role, or launching a creative project, make the call when you have enough to move forward. You can adjust along the way. Bezos' secret here is that action compounds faster than hesitation. And finally, let's explore why Bezos reserves his mornings for his most important work. Despite running a global giant, Jeff Bezos has always protected his mornings. He believes that mental energy is a finite resource, and that the early hours are when he's sharpest. Instead of filling his mornings with routine tasks or endless emails, he schedules his most critical, high-impact decisions early in the day. Bezos once said, "I like to do my high IQ meetings before lunch. Anything that requires real brain power, I do it in the morning." After 5 p.m., he avoided making major calls because fatigue could cloud judgment. It's a deceptively simple but powerful principle. Guard your mornings for deep, meaningful work. Whether you're a CEO or a student, you can use this same strategy. Don't waste your sharpest hours scrolling through social media or handling low-value chores. Dedicate that time to the projects that move the needle the most. When you piece all these principles together, a clear picture emerges. Jeff Bezos didn't stay sharp by accident. He built guardrails into his daily life. He practiced customer obsession every single day. He enforced the 2-pizza rule to keep teams lean and fast. He pushed for high-velocity decision-making, choosing speed over perfection. And he reserved his mornings for high IQ work, protecting his sharpest hours for the decisions that mattered most. These weren't just random habits. They were strategic choices that scaled with him as Amazon grew from a garage startup to one of the most dominant companies in history. And here's the secret you can take away. You don't need billions of dollars to adopt these principles. You just need discipline. You can obsess over your own customers, whether that's your boss, your clients, or your audience. You can shrink your teams and keep projects lean and efficient. You can stop waiting for perfect information and make quicker, reversible decisions. And you can guard your mornings like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Bezos didn't just build Amazon with these principles. He stayed sharp because of them. And if you put them into practice, you might just find yourself building something extraordinary too. Which billionaire's routine surprised you most? Drop a comment below and let me know which vault you want open next. Don't forget to subscribe for more legendary wealth secrets.